Hello everyone and welcome to I'm not even sure what to call this video kind of thing. Because honestly, I'll just be talking a lot about the events. Like, there's a lot of good parts about the events. Like this, you can get a tier 7 and a tier 9, and if you already got what's in what you get gold, and that sort of stuff is fine. I love the fact that you have a Christmas tree, and depending on the ornaments that you choose, you earn more credits in the game. And as you decorate your tree, it will actually get decorated in the garage as well and everything. I really, really love that part. It's just so fun. And had Wargaming stuck with snow globes, it would have pretty much been amazing. But instead, we got music boxes, and that's where everything went wrong for me. But we will get into that later. So, to start with, by playing the event and just doing your whole daily win things that you need in order to get this cert, you can actually get some nice things. Some not so nice things, but overall, they are quite fun tanks in there, and free tank is free. So that part of the event I really like. And it's not just that, you get a tier 7, but you can also get a tier 9 or a tier 10. Like, of course, in my case, I got the Object 452 from that, which I wasn't too happy with because I'm not a fan of the tank, but I had it, so I got free gold. To be fair, I have everything in there, so there's that. But again, free stuff is free. So we have the Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree has ornaments, and if you pick ornaments from the same family, so left, right, or center, you basically up your credits that you get extra per battle. And I actually really like that idea. In my case, I've got a gazillion credits that I don't need anymore, but I do like the fact that it's sort of interactive like that, and you can decorate the tree and it will actually be decorated in your garage as well. I really like the idea of the ornaments. Some of them look really, really cute. I will probably just make my tree the way I like it, and credits be damned because I don't really need them. So that part I really like. But then you also have the stall. The stall is a different matter because you have crates. You can get a music box for 20 million credits once you've upgraded your stall, which you do through playing. Then you have the festive town containers. Now, those have a lot of cool tanks in them, mind you. But of course, the drop rate is stupid low, and the chances of you actually getting them is very, very low indeed. And for the most part, you will just get ornaments that will go towards the leaderboard, which you will need to spend a lot of money on to actually get a reward. But yeah, the thing is that back in the day, we would actually be able to get snow globes from these kind of crates, and you would have a lot less epic tanks in those crates, but you would work towards a snow globe. And if you had 10 snow globes, you would get the Christmas tank. So, all in all, I always quite like that. In this case, I do not feel like spending my free XP or gold on this at all, because in my case, I also have the tanks, so I don't need it for that. But the fact that you just don't have a chance for a music box at all makes it feel really useless to waste your free XP and gold to get ornaments for your tree, to get to a leaderboard that you will never get to the top places of unless you spend a lot of money, which in most of our cases is not going to be the case. So good parts for sure. You get a battle pass container thing, which gives you a tiny, tiny chance for a phase one for credits. You can get a music box for credits. But for the rest, this part I'm not particularly a fan of. Of course, you could potentially get a tank from those crates that you actually like. But yeah, of course, once you get to level 4, you can also, just when you play a lot, you can open crates for hot cocoa. So that part I actually kind of like as well, because those are actually free and will not cost you free XP or gold in order to open. And so we get to the thing it's all about, the music boxes, or rather G-Sword, the tank that is in those music boxes. Now, I will have to say, I do love this animation. I think it's super cute. I love the whole design of it. I really love how it looks and how it opens the prizes. But the thing is, the animation does not really make up for what's in there. Now, you can get some nice amount of gold from there, but the thing is, of course, that we want is the Christmas tank, basically the G-Saw. And you could potentially be looking at needing 300 music boxes in order to get that. Because the way that it works is that you work up towards a guaranteed price at 30 boxes. If you get a tank in between, it resets that counter. So basically, you get into the 4% drop rate let's say at crate 15. After that, the counter will start back at 0, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, the drop rate is only 4%. The one thing that I do really like about it is that you cannot get the price that you already got again. So if you get, for instance, the Caro, then there's a guaranteed price that you get will never be the Caro again. So basically, you can only get the same tank once from those crates. Music boxes, I should say. I keep calling them crates, but technically they just have a different name. And you can get 3 of those music boxes throughout the event. All the rest you have to spend money on. And they're not cheap either. Basically, you have like one for €5. And that could potentially mean that you would have to spend near €1,500 in order to get it. And of course, there's some SIL stuff bundles going on. But it is still would be a potentially very, very expensive tank. And to be fair, most of us just do not have that kind of money to spend on that sort of stuff. So basically, these are the tanks in there, and I have all other 9 except for G-Saw the tank when I made this screenshot. And that would mean that I could drop the other 9 tanks first before I would ever get the G-Saw, and that could make this a very expensive thing for me. So I was fully set on just not getting the tank and waiting for it to come back maybe in a year or 2. And then maybe having this tank in my collection after that, depending on how Wargaming would release it in the future. But then Wargaming turned super, super generous, and they gave us community contributors 100 music boxes. Which, if you look at the value of that, it's like €350. It's utterly insane. I never expected that, and I feel a bit queasy about it. It feels off because there are so many people that will never be able to afford that sort of stuff. And in my case, extra, because I got super lucky, and from those 100 musics, I actually did get G-Saw the tank. I got 4 tanks in total from those 100 boxes, and one of them was the G-Saw. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very lucky with that. It also like insanely added to my gold amount, that too. But it feels off because it feels unfair to get to open 100 of those music boxes, whereas so many people will not be able to afford that. And it's the same for me. If not for this gift, I wouldn't have gotten the tank, and I wouldn't have been able to afford getting the tank. It would just have to have waited until it came back some other way sometime in the future. So yeah, I am very grateful to Wargaming for gifting me that, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't feel right, you know? I can't really put it into words. Like, I am grateful, and I'm very happy that I got the tank, because it is really good fun. But that the tank is so unobtainable for most people is something that I do not like. Snow globes in that regard were so much better and so much more fun, and after 10 snow globes you would get the tank guaranteed, and you could actually spend your free XP and what gold you had in order to try for snow globes, and that's just not the case here. Like, yes, you can get 3 of them for free through the event through heavy grinding and getting aces and spending credits, but it's not the same, you know? And it just seems to be the direction that Wargaming the company is heading towards, like more exclusivity and tanks needing a lot more money in order to get, and being just overall super expensive. Like, you have the Waffen, you have the Type 5 Heavy, you have the Chieftain Proto, you have the Tiger Mouse, you have the Ellie KPZ, the squished head T9 German thing. You have the Felice right now. The Felice will come back in probably a year, at least if it follows the same pattern that most Black Friday tanks have gone. But for the rest, we don't know how they will come back, and some tanks are apparently seeming to be meant to be kept that exclusive. So I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the direction that Wargaming Blitz monetization is going, and it used to be so much better. You used to be feeling that at least even if you didn't really get what you wanted, you would get your money's worth, and that's long gone. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not willing to spend my life savings on pixel tanks. I spend money on the game, don't get me wrong, because I'm weak like that. But I would never spend that amount of money in one go. And I know for sure that if not for this gift, I would not have G-Saw the tank, and I may have never gotten it, depending on how or if Wargaming would introduce it in the future. Because we honestly don't know, because this is so far off the snow globe realm that I don't know how that will go in the future. Now, to end this more and more gloomy sounding video on a more positive note, I actually do get to give away 10 music boxes. Now, in order to win one of those, you have to enter with your in-game name, your ID, and just a Merry Christmas message. That's all. I will use a random comment picker in order to pick my 10 winners. And that will be it. So I hope that that will give you great RNG. I hope you get the G Sorter tank from those, because I want everyone to have it, really. And even though the whole music boxes stuff is not good, we do have to focus a bit on the good things as well. Like the fact that you get a tier 7, like the fact that you get a tier 9 or tier 10 just from grinding the events, that you have a beautiful garage with a Christmas tree that you can decorate and all of that. So it's not all bad. It's just a shame that the music boxes themselves are exactly what is letting down this event. So that is it for me for now. Thank you for listening to my sort of rant video thing. I honestly still don't know what to call it. I hope you all have very lovely holidays. I wish you all the best of RNG, and I will see you guys later. Bye.